Party's not a party's a man who fights crime, and we're gonna watch him fight for a minute at a time with John and Niall and a guest who doesn't rhyme. It's Bat
Minute! Greetings, citizens of Gotham, and welcome once again to Bat Minute Returns, the show that is mere seconds away from sinking into the depths once again. I am one of your hosts, John Parker.
And I am the other host, Niall McGowan. John, stop the podcast.
What? What is it?
Sorry, I was trying to think of any line of dialogue in this minute, and that's the only thing that's said. So I was like, all right, I'm going to have to go for that one then.
That's a good line. That works. That works. I like it. But yes, you know who we are.
Yep.
But we are joined by our very, very ultra special guest.
Hi, I'm Allison Closs, and I love being considered ultra special. Thank you very much.
Don't we all?
Yeah. You guys listening, you probably don't know my name, but you may have heard my story. I am the Danny DeVito Prom Girl. It was a big viral story last year where I for my senior prom I took a cardboard cutout of Danny DeVito to prom, and then that went viral, and then Danny DeVito himself heard about it, and he got a cardboard cutout of me, and he brought it to the set of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and that went viral again. And then eventually in September, I got a call from The Talk, like the TV show in LA, and they said that they wanted to bring me on. And I got to meet Danny on national TV, so...
That is fantastic.
It's quite a saga.
So, when's the wedding?
I'm waiting till after college.
Oh, yeah, you've got priorities to sort out first, of course.
Of course, I'm a career woman above all else.
To be fair, we are obsessed with Danny. I'd marry Danny. Come on.
Yeah, he's a wonderful lad.
But
you may be like 50 years older, but age, it's just a number.
It doesn't matter. Who cares?
Yeah.
I think my favorite part of that whole story, though, was just on the cardboard cutout, just the tie that you put on it. I was like, that's it. That really ties the whole thing together for me. The ties the whole thing together.
Oh.
Yeah, and he had his little scooter that's duct taped together. Yeah, I pulled him on a scooter with a leash, and yeah.
That is the ultimate prom story, I think. What a way to go to the prom. Come on. That's like I actually went to an American school because I lived abroad. So we had a prom. You don't have them really. Well, I think you do have them in England now, but you didn't when I went to school.
Well, yeah, in Ireland we had the formal, which is nowhere near as fun to say. It makes it sound really boring. And I think actually might be appropriate because it was very boring. I did not enjoy it when I went to it.
Well, I was a weirdo goth kid, so I was like, I object to the concept of the prom. So I decided to go in the guise of the Crow. That was weird, because everyone else was dressed really nice, and I was dressed as the bloody Crow.
Well, I actually used it as an excuse, because my whole thing was like, well, I guess I better do something for this. And I showed up. I went and rented like a top hat and a tailcoat and a cane and stuff, just so I could look extra fancy and stuff in it. But and it was 98% just because I wanted a top hat. That was all. Like, it was heartbreaking. So it was only a rental. So I was like, I have to give this back afterwards. But like that was my that was the sole reason for doing that. I was like,
have you not bought one since?
I do. I have a top hat now. Yeah, it's not out there somewhere. It's not as nice as that one though.
Oh. Well, you know what we should probably talk about is Batman.
Batman!
Batman! So this is minute 119. The minute starts with the end of a funeral. They don't get to enjoy a buffet afterwards, however. And it ends with a light nighttime jog.
I have to say, like, really patting ourselves on the back here for bringing on the one guest we've had on this whole season who's met Danny DeVito to see 15 seconds of Danny DeVito.
We didn't know we'd get you, damn it.
I'm glad to be on, though.
Yeah.
Even if it's just for the end of my boy.
Oh, well, this is, to me, the tail end of one of the saddest moments in movie history as the corpse of our beloved Pengy slides into the waters from whence he came.
Yeah, I love the music in the background too. I feel like it's such a ridiculous situation, you know, like you got like these penguins just dragging Danny DeVito into the water for a funeral, but like the music is so dramatic. Like I feel like Tim Burton didn't tell Danny Elfman what was going to be on the background. He was like, "Oh, it's just a funeral," and he's like, "Okay, I can make sad music."
Yeah,
but like, and it's just like these penguins just.
I'll tell you what, though, it
fun.
really works. Like how have they made this scene emotional? Because I start tearing up a little bit. How can you make penguins pushing Danny DeVito into the water emotional?
Well, I think it's kind of like the relationship between like a kid and his dog, you know, like the relationship between a person and an animal that cares very much.
Yeah.
It's just so wholesome, you know.
Oh,
Like a funeral with humans, whatever. But
nobody
like
cares
the
about that.
penguins are sad.
I would love though if it was like so emotional, a cut over to like Batman like tearing up, like it's like taking out a little tape recorder, like Alfred, take a memo, have penguin pallbearers at my funeral. I was like, everyone will love it.
If I die, Niall, can you and everyone we know please attend my funeral dressed as penguins?
I think I'm gonna have to now. Like this is legal binding contract.
Oh yeah. I'm not saying this for comedy effect. I 100% mean it.
Yeah, but although that's a weird thing, like considering you're infamous for a cardboard cutout of Danny DeVito, Allison. I did have to wonder, like, this. I'm assuming this is like a model of Danny DeVito, like that's.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because
definitely.
It's not as he's hardcore enough to be like, no, I'll keep my eye open and remain completely static as you film me floating downwards into the depths.
Right, I'll be honest. I thought it was just him to the point where I didn't even look it up and look at any supplementary material because I was like, of course that's just Danny.
Well, I'm thinking maybe it might be like a stop motion kind of thing, you know?
Well, it could be.
Okay.
We have the kind of mystery last year as well with like when the Joker falls off that bell tower. There's a weird effect where it's like they pasted Jack Nicholson's face onto this thing that was like, it was like back in the day. When you had it on VHS, it just looked like, yeah, that's the Joker falling. But now looking at it in like Blu-ray quality, it's like it's this weird animation that falls off the church tower. But this one stands up better though, because this is like, well, I'm assuming it's a model of Danny DeVito, but it still looks genuinely like they've even got the final bubbles coming out of him to the point. I was like, yeah, there's a lot of attention paid to that.
Well, there is one little flaw I noticed, though, which is that they're pushing him in, and when he hits the water, he starts floating outwards, and then the next shot, he's floating directly down.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think it's just for, like, dramatic, purposes. Because it does look really cool when you see him floating down, and then you see the penguins over top.
Oh, yeah,
it's a really cool shot.
I found that quite moving. Like, I really enjoyed how the penguins were watching him float away and then sinking, almost with respect, because they love him as one of their own. Even though he's done evil things, those penguins are like, oh, he's us. He's one of us. He's ours.
I don't know, the angle of it, though, made me think of, you remember that episode of The Office where Jim and Dwight are having a snowball fight throughout? And Dwight
God, that's great.
It's like the one episode where Dwight has a constant one-up in Jim because he's just amazing at setting up these snowball fights, traps and stuff. And it ends with like Jim going crazy, like beating up all these snowmen in a car park. And there's this one shot of Dwight like staring down at him from like a rooftop bathed in red and stuff like that. It's just the same kind of angle here. Like it looks like the penguins are just like, meh, just like kind of looking down at him with pity and just like, ugh. Just, into the mud, scum queen. That kind of...
Oh, no. I thought it was nice and respectful and emotional.
Just brought to mind in Bride of Chucky when Chucky finally stabs Tiffany, just like, get off my knife. And just like, just throws her away. So these penguins are like, get out of my goddamn sewer.
It's great that you brought that up because I thought, like, I really liked how the last remnants of this black ooze seep out of his mouth as he sinks.
Yeah.
And I thought, like, wouldn't it be great? Great/terrible, depending how you want to look at this, if that somehow infected another penguin that swam in the waters, right? And the spirit of Oswald Cobblepot returned once more, like Chucky or the Ginger Dead Man.
I think that's you watching too much X-Files, John. I was like, Agent
The black
Krychek is
ooze.
walking past, and what do you know? The ooze gets into him too.
Wouldn't it be amazing that the spirit of the penguin is within that ooze?
Well, I think the spirit of the penguin is within all of us.
That is true.
yes. He lives inside us all.
Yeah.
That's after you get visited at night by the ghosts of penguins past, present, and future to remind you to always keep a little penguin in your heart.
Oh.
Yep.
That's going to be our slogan for this season, I think. Keep a little penguin in your heart.
It'd be like great though, like the ooze goes down to New York and gets on Peter Parker, and that's the new version of the symbiote from Spider-Man.
Oh,
But
the Venom symbiote thing is actually the penguin.
That'd be amazing. It was just like that was this is our crossover with DC and Marvel. The Penguin ooze was the symbiote the whole time, and now Spider-Man turns into like Venom Penguin. There you go. That's a movie right there.
Oh my god, that'd be perfect. Why isn't this a thing?
Although because this is like the end of Danny within the movie, thought it would be appropriate to bring up, because we did a little bit of digging into some other people who apparently were up for playing the Penguin and who weren't cast because they got someone much better in to do it with Danny DeVito. But I'll get the last few out here. One of them was, and this friggin' guy has haunted us from day one of this damn podcast. Ray Liotta apparently was up for the Penguin as well.
Right, I don't want to get rid of Danny, but Ray Liotta would be good.
But the fact that he was up for like every part in that first movie, we're just like, apparently Ray Liotta was up for playing Batman, he was up for playing the Joker, he was up for playing friggin' Knox, he was up for playing Harvey Dent, he was up for...
He just wanted in.
I think it was just like someone down there in IMDb heard Ray Liotta Batman, and we're like, I guess he could have played anybody. But
Yeah, I think he would have made a better Batman than a penguin, but I can see both.
Yeah, maybe penguin in the more traditional sense than what we get from Danny.
I think that's like a lot of these people strike me as being like, they were thinking, this must have been early days, and they were thinking, oh, it's going to be like the comic book Penguin. It's not going to be this version. Because you get people like they got Dean Martin was considered apparently, which is baffling. But then you consider that Tim Burton wanted Sammy Davis Jr. to play Beetlejuice, so I guess that actually is like, yeah, maybe Tim Burton's a big Rat Pack guy. He's like, I just want to work with one of them once. Come on. And the closest he got was Tom Jones in Mars Attacks.
Jesus.
But I would love to see that, like Dean Martin delivering that big speech to the Penguins and like standing with the martini and just be like, oh, hell, the sexes are equal when their erogenous lungs are blown sky high. With Danny on the score still crashing away behind him, but it just doesn't match the scene at all.
This is disturbing.
John Goodman apparently also considered.
Oh, okay.
I mean, he is, because John Goodman's so lovable, but at the same time, like in 10 Cloverfield Lane, he was pretty scary. So I get it. I get what they're going for.
Yeah. Okay. I could see it these days. Yeah.
He's a bit too tall, I think, Like Danny, I think he blends in with the penguin so well. He's 4'10".
No, that's an excellent
point.
point.
He's standing with him. He looks like a penguin. I don't mean it like that, Danny. If you're listening, my boy. But it's undeniable. He's a short man.
Yeah, and he makes that work for him. So I'm sure he wouldn't mind you saying that. Yeah, he's made his career off exploiting that fact in the best possible way.
Oh, it does. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be great though. Like, we get John Goodman. We have to get taller penguins to make the match. Like a bunch of penguins on
giant penguins.
Penguins on stilts walking around.
Now that is an excellent point, though. I didn't think about that. John Goodman, he might look the part and he might be able to act the part, but the one thing he does fail on is he's quite a tall man. Yeah.
Although I can imagine if someone had to say to Tim Burton, he's just like, well, you realize, Tim, we're going to have to get penguins on stilts. Tim Burton would be like, yes, of course.
Amazing.
That is now I'm 110% on for this movie. I don't know, that's the one final person who I was excited to see, mostly because I'm a big fan of The Godfather Minute, is Alex Rocco was considered to play the Penguin. And most people, Alex Rocco, not really a household name, but he was the guy who played Mo Green in The Godfather.
Oh, yeah.
So I was really hoping to get, like, it's like, I'm Oswald Cobblepot. I made my bones when you were filling your diapers with guano, Batman. Do that weird dub thing in that one scene he has. Like, I talked to Max Schreck or something like that.
Oh, I completely forgot about that guy. Then again, I have only seen The Godfather once ever in my life, which is
really,
yeah, and it was only 3 or 4 years ago, and so what was I like 30?
Yeah. Mo Green's the guy who gets shot in the eye at the end. I think that's his legacy.
Yeah.
But though, if you do watch The Godfather quite a bit, his real legacy is the horrendous dubbing they do, where there's one bit where he's talking, "Yeah, I'm talking, blah, 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 blah," and then he has the one line, "I talked to Barzini," and it's clear. It doesn't even sound like it's the same actor, but it's visible. It kind of syncs up, and it's so blatant that it's like, how did this not get past people? Like, what happened there? But anyway,
There's more important things to worry about.
yeah. Oh, I mean, it's a long movie, so let's just get it over. It's 3 damn hours long.
I enjoyed it, but yeah, at some points you are like, can this wrap up?
Mm. But yeah, that's that's the creme de la creme of people who could have played the Penguin, but didn't and shouldn't have, because we got a better deal. I think, really.
Yeah, that's the thing. They probably all would have been good at it, like, but would they have been Danny? Would you be talking about them now, 1 minute at a time?
But do either of you two know who, apparently, according to a clip I saw of Danny DeVito talking to the paparazzi, who his actual choice to succeed him as the Penguin would be in a new Batman movie?
When did he say this, though? Was it recent?
This was like in the past 3 or 4 years, yeah.
Okay. Who the hell would he pick? I can't even imagine.
I feel like he would just say an actual penguin, like, like I feel like that's something he would say.
Yeah. It's weird because when he's saying it, he's actually, the cast of It's Always Sunny must have been out because Charlie Day's right there with him. And he's kind of like, oh, I should cast this guy. And Charlie's like, he's doing a little like, wah, 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 stuff to the camera as well.
Oh, crap. No, that would be good.
So he said Charlie Day is his successor?
No, that was, he was joking about that. But then he gave us some consideration. He's like, you know who would be good at it? Ashton Kutcher.
What?
And he's just like, I saw him in Job, that Steve Jobs movie recently, and he was great in it. I think he could really do this. And it's like,
what?
I mean, I guess, yeah, because Ashton Kutcher did do that Steve Jobs movie. Maybe he is like, he's trying to turn things around and be like a credible actor.
Oh, he was trying to do that. Yeah, that's what that Jobs movie was about, basically.
That's the only one he did. Beyond that, it's kind of like...
That's because it bombed.
You keep trying. You do a McConaughey, you just keep at it until these things friggin' turn your way.
Hey, not everyone has that kind of persistence.
Yeah. It's just mostly because I don't think I've seen Ashton Kutcher in anything recently.
He was in that Netflix show that got into problems because the other guy from that 70s show...
Oh, The Ranch, yeah. The thing with Danny Masters and all that, yeah. That's an unpleasant topic.
Yeah, we won't go there, but that kind of... I mean, they did another season of it, but they couldn't really promote it at the same time because of the controversy with the other guy. That's all I'm going to say.
That's the thing with Ashton Kutcher in sitcoms. It's just continuing them past the point when the main character leaves. Like, was it friggin' That 70s Show had a season without Eric Foreman. Yeah. And it's like, why don't do it? When the main character leaves, just stop. That's the time to stop. Then 2.5 Men, Charlie Sheen leaves, Ashton Kutcher comes in. And then it's like, this guy's gone. I was like, yep, we keep on going. I was like, Ashton, the writing is on the wall, dude. Just stop. Stop when someone leaves, the show stops, all right?
And now he's going to take over the Penguin.
Yeah, the thing is, though, if you look at him, he does have a kind of pointy kind of face. Like, he does have a kind of... I could kind of picture him, like, if they wanted to, like, if they're already doing, like, well, people are complaining this much about Robert Pattinson doing it. Let's just go for broke. Yeah, Ashton Kutcher is the Penguin. There you go.
Well, actually, that's a good point, because as of recording, that's still quite recent news, isn't it? Robert Pattinson being Batman. What do you two think about that?
I mean, I haven't seen him in any serious roles, but he definitely looks like a good Batman. You know, he's got that very like gothic kind of face.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah,
and he has done a lot of serious things lately. Everyone always goes, "Oh, the guy from Twilight," and it's like, well, that was like 10 years ago. he's moved on to his weird French art movies and whatnot now.
No, I'm on the record several times as been very pro Pattinson. So
Yeah.
I
can see it.
Yeah, I'm all on board for it. Do you have anyone though, Allison? Who would you choose actually for the Penguin? Beyond Ashton Kutcher, apparently he claims, so he can't just say him.
I'm gonna go with Dr. Phil. I mean, he's short. He's got that sort of like, he's got a funny voice. I think he could make a good penguin.
Oh my god, I never would have thought of that, but it's perfect.
That's a handy thing too. You can't get Dr. Phil, get Jeffrey Tambor, because you can't tell those two. You put a mustache in Jeffrey Tambor, you can't tell those two men apart. Like I've been.
Oh no, he's been in trouble as well now. You can't cast Jeffrey Tambor.
But I remember because when he was in the Larry Sanders Show way back when, I was really confused. Like, is that Dr. Phil? Was he in a sitcom? What the hell's going on? It's like, no, it's two completely different men. But
oh my god, Dr. Phil, he would be good. He's got. I don't mean this as an insult, but he's got the right shape. You could bulk him out with the costume, and it would work.
Do you have any choices for Catwoman, or do you need a minute to consider, to ponder? It's like, Dr. Phil for that as well. He can do it. He can do everything.
I feel Dr. Phil could do anybody, really. Just, like with all this green screen technology we got nowadays, just all the CG, we can just stick him in as every character.
Perfect. Right, we're doing it. I'm funding this.
Yeah. And he doesn't do a different voice for each character. He just does that same kind of vaguely patronizing voice that he does on his show.
Perfect.
It was like, now Batman. I was going to try to launch into a Dr. Phil impersonation. It's like, I don't think I've seen the guy in so long that I don't know if I can. I'd be like, I could be reaching for anything there.
Yeah, I don't remember the last time I saw that show. Like, it was never a huge thing in the UK, but it was on. It was one of those that was kind of on if you were ever off school or off work or anything. It was on in the afternoon.
Yeah, but on YouTube, there's been this recent phase where a lot of people have been doing react videos to Dr. Phil stuff. And it is funny, you just take some of the weirder moments and it works.
So what you're saying is we need to do a follow-up podcast where we review every episode of Dr. Phil's show.
Yeah,
I
basically.
like it.
I believe we were, and I'm thankful to see that it's disappeared from Netflix now, because I remember a couple of months back, Pee-wee's Playhouse appeared on the UK Netflix. And because one of the things, the start of the movie, that Paul Rubens is in it, so we were like, we've never seen Pee-wee Herman over in this side of the pond. He's not a big thing. So we're like, should we review every episode of Pee-wee's Playhouse now that it's on Netflix? And people were like, yeah, you should do that. And now that it's gone, I'm like, oh, thank God. Because that looked like that would have been a lot of work.
It might have been amazing.
But imagine Danny DeVito in other penguin-related movies, like in Happy Feet, if it was just the penguin in Happy Feet, or
oh my God.
I don't know. What other movies with penguins are there?
They did really miss a trick, though, with Happy Feet, because they could have just got DeVito to do one of the voices or something, which I think would have been perfect. Why would you not do that? It'd be like a little in-joke for all the fans.
Yeah.
This angry feet.
For the parents in the audience.
Yeah, you have to keep the parents happy. That's something Toy Story learned and did very well. Mm-hmm. There's lots of weird little jokes in there for the mums and dads.
I was very disturbed to find out recently, looking into the oncoming release of Toy Story 4, Michael Keaton's not in it. Yeah, I thought his Ken was one of the best parts of Toy Story 3, not in Toy Story 4. I was like, what the hell? Huh. It's like now he's risen high in the Keatonaissance. He's like, I'm too good for Toy Story. That was back when I was clawing my way back to the top. Now I'm here. I don't need any kiddie crap.
No, he's a serious actor now.
Oh, well, last year he was in the Mr. Rogers documentary, and he was talking about that was his first job.
Really?
Oh my God, seriously? How have we not brought this up? Or did we, years ago?
Oh, those early days of the season 1 are like, that's all. And that's in the murky depths of the sewer of my mind, basically.
It was 2 years ago. Maybe we did mention it.
I was watching the Mr. Rogers documentary like a few weeks ago, and I was like, that's so wholesome. Like, he was saying like, oh yeah, the little train at the beginning, a lot of the times he was the one who hit the button to send off the train. So
Oh my god,
that's really cute.
That's adorable.
Again, though, Mr. Rogers, not a thing over here. So we kept getting, like, I've heard loads of great reviews for that documentary. It's like, oh, it's so, if you grew up in this guy, you'll be in floods of tears watching this and stuff. And I was like, I know he's a guy with a red sweater. And apparently he was very nice. And that's all I know about Mr. Rogers.
Yeah.
I remember I looked up what it was years and years ago because, okay, it was the early 2000s. Nu metal was in full swing. And the band Korn had a song that referenced Mr. Rogers. So I was a teenager and I was like, what's this? So I looked it up at the time. So I got deeply immersed into what it was. So I understood the Korn song.
The Rogers verse.
The Rogers cinematic universe. Yes.
The RCU.
That needs to happen. Come on.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he did have a crossover with Sesame Street.
Oh, now that was a thing here and still is, I think.
Oh, I can guarantee. Like, I currently live in a house with a 1-year-old. Let me tell you, Sesame Street is still big with the kids. Like, it's still big with me. Like, I'm more enthusiastic about watching the videos on YouTube than he is.
Another great actor for the Penguin, Big Bird.
Perfect. He's a big bird. I mean, what more do you need to say?
With a bunch of little birds. It works.
It's perfect.
And like John Goodman's ringing up the Warner Post. Like, what the hell? I thought I was too tall. Now you're casting Big Bird.
Yeah, but he's a big bird.
You're short or you're a bird.
They're just like, Big Bird, he's cousins with the head of Warner Brothers. So like that's why he got that part. I have to say though, like in watching a lot of Sesame Street clips, I don't like Elmo and I don't like Big Bird.
Wait, you don't like Elmo?
Elmo annoys the crap out of me. I'm a Grover man through and through.
Oh, come on. Kids love Elmo. You need to see why they like him.
I mean,
I think like as an adult, the voice is annoying, but when you're a kid, you don't really care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's because he's so omnipresent now. Like he has kind of taken over Sesame Street, basically. Everything's
Well,
Elmo
true,
now.
yeah.
I was like, it used to be a wide array of characters, and now it's just like, get Elmo and Zoe in wherever you can. Like, they are dominating this whole damn street. But I will say, too, because one of my favorite things in watching the clips with Killian, the little boy I watch it with, there's a great song called Do the Duck, sang by Ernie when he's in the bath, and it's just like...
Is that meant to be Do the Dog?
It's a bit, like, I think it's kind of... It's a Jamaican, like, themed kind of song. It's a real reggae kind of like, oh, do the duck, do the duck, do the rubber duck. And it's just annoying me that we had a whole movie talking about, like, penguin driving about in a giant rubber duck. And I hadn't heard that song. I was like, oh my God, I would have been bringing that up all the goddamn time.
Yeah, I think I've heard that Do the Duck song before. I had this, like, old, like, CD with a bunch of, like, famous Sesame Street songs I listened to when I was a little kid, and that was one of the ones on there. So, I know what you're talking about. It was a catchy song.
It's a genuinely really good song. Like, again, me, like, I'm more enthusiastic, but, like, there's a Monster in the Mirror, the song sang by Grover. I try to put that on for the kid. I know that one. He's not fussed. I'm like, this is a great damn song, kid. You should be soaking all this in, but... no, he just wants to. I think maybe he's still too young. He wants like the really bad children's nursery rhymes, so I end up having to like sit and huff with them. Like, all right, and then I'm sitting angrily with my arms folded while we watch hours and hours of terrible, terrible old McDonald covers and stuff.
Oh God. Imagine like Batman Returns, but with like those like the good Sesame Street songs, like throwing the duck one, when he's on the duck.
Oh yes. In fact, why has there not been a Batman like with lots of songs in? I know we've talked about the musical that was going to happen, but let's make like a musical TV show. An episode of Gotham should have had music.
The Gotham's good. It's gone now, but it's like that's the type of thing I feel they would have done. They're like,
yeah, exactly. It would have fit perfectly in with Gotham. Nobody would have batted an eye.
Tragically, it was not to be. But anyway, within the minute of what's going on in here, we're finally out of these damn sewers. I feel like I've been living in those sewers for the past 6 damn months.
Yeah, it really does feel like. How long has it been? It's been in our world. It has been months.
I think, yeah, from recording week to week, that was like the fact that like we have a 10-week buffer, and the minutes set in that finale are airing now, and we've only just finished the freaking sewer. That's how long it is. But we get of course, Alfred driving Bruce past the old Gotham Superdrug there.
I really like how silent this ride is, because this is exactly how I want every damn Uber trip to be. Maybe not with the morose feeling of this scene, but just shut up. Don't talk to me, driver.
I can't help but feel that it's like an awkward silence, because like this is literally Bruce getting driven back from the sewer. And he had to phone Alfred. He's like, oh, yeah, Alfred, I need a lift. And he's like, well, what happened to bat ski boots, sir? I'm just like, Alfred, I kind of broke it. I told you not to break that damn boat, didn't I? So he's just now, like, the two of them, that's why Bruce in the back, very kind of awkwardly looking out the window, just like, we're in the middle of a fight.
He looks like a moody teenager, just,
yeah.
You know, like Mom, don't talk to me, I'm thinking.
It reminded me of being a teenager, and it's one of the first times maybe you go out on the town drinking, and you realize, oh, I haven't got any money left to get home, so you have to ring your parents at like 3 a.m, like, can you come and get me? It's like really awkward.
Let me tell you, that's the benefits of growing up in a town where everything is like less than a mile away. So that happens, like, I just walk home. It'll take me 10 minutes.
Yeah, we're not all from the middle of nowhere in Ireland.
Should mention that, you know, this minute sees the end of the Penguin, but in the Dan Waters original draft, this minute would have also seen the end of the recurring characters of Punch and Juliet.
Yeah.
I don't know if you recall, Allison, but like in the middle of the movie, there's a bit where Danny DeVito bites a guy's nose.
Yeah, oh yeah, I definitely remember that part.
Yeah.
How could you forget?
But
yeah.
That character and the woman he was with, they were recurring characters throughout the original version of the script. They're like sycophantic PR people who were just trying to make the Penguin look good to like a comical degree. So basically, at this point, they've fled the sewers. And there's a whole big thing in that original draft where like things throughout the city were also rigged to blow up and stuff. And not everything has exploded yet. So eventually, like they run up to a street corner, and Juliet says, "Oh, Punch, we have the best job. No matter how mighty our clients rise and fall, we stay deliciously the same." And Punch responds with, "You're right. You're always right. I hear the Riddler is hiring." And then Juliet says, "Baby, fate is our friend." She begins to soprano out the carolers, just Christmas carolers in the corner. And she pressed the don't walk bottom on the streetlights, and the streetlights explode and blow them up. And then Batman apparently just drives past and Alfred without batting an eye to that, like it's a sitcom, pretty much. But yes, that would have been the tragic end to Punch and Juliet. And apparently,
what a shame.
Yeah, indicating that the Riddler is already a thing in Gotham, which is we're kind of getting that, like, yeah, nothing happened since the Joker. But Waters was indicating, like, yeah, maybe there's a whole bunch of supervillains on the go already. And the Penguin's just...
No.
He's like the sixth guy Batman has had to deal with already.
I don't like that, because clearly in this franchise, in this film series, the Penguin is the next one to come along.
Yeah.
It's very clear that that's the case. Batman's just been dealing with generic crooks in the meantime.
Yeah, building up street cred.
Yeah. He is pretty street. Let's be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, then, like, while he's pouting in the back, to be fair, that's natural. That's Michael Keaton's natural state, is to be pouting.
Oh, that pout! I mention this pout every single damn week. I think that's a hell of a pout. Good God!
I could bet, because he spots the silhouette, and I bet because the silence is so awkward, I'm betting Alfred's like, oh, thank God, like something to break the tension here.
Even if it is the silhouette, the shadow of Catwoman. It was funny to me, like, he instantly perks up when he sees it. So, he was basically dead behind the eyes 2 seconds ago. So, yet again, we see how, without the whole Batman persona and associations and whatnot, he's not even really a man. He's just, he's nothing, he's blank. As soon as he sees Catwoman, he's back. Ah, yes! Like, now I'm living.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I like what he does with his eyes there, because so often, like, the main sort of expressive part of the face, aside from the mouth, is, like, the eyebrows. But it's weird, because his eyebrows don't move at all. They kind of just stay in that, like, weird sort of, like, triangle shape, you know?
Yeah.
But
How does he
his
do
eyes
that?
just suddenly light up, you know? It's weird.
That is impressive because to someone, a much worse actor, me, what I would do would be, raise your eyebrows. Oh,
Yeah,
and surprise.
yeah.
I feel bad now. It's a indication of the future when you said, like, a much worse actor. In my head, I went Val Kilmer, yeah. I was like, we're in for rough times in the future.
By the end of next season, we're going to love Val. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
You know, I bet Batfleck would have raised his eyebrows right there, but not Keaton.
Yeah.
No,
Not
he's got it down. He's
Yeah.
the man.
I kind of have a feel because I love this as an ending. The fact that, like, you know, and the thing is, you know, not to get into things that we'll be talking about later in the week, but you know, the indication at the end that a certain character might still be alive is made very apparent in the actual movie, but in the original scripts, this was the last you saw of, you know, quote unquote Catwoman. And I actually prefer it that way personally. Like the idea that maybe Bruce didn't even see anything at all. Like he's just so messed up by the whole experience that, like,
Could be in his head.
Yeah, so this.
I like that ambiguity.
Yeah, I really wish they'd
More
kept it that way.
interesting.
Yeah. I can't help but feel as well that, like, this, you know, much like any shadow along the wall kind of thing, makes you think instantly of the, you know, infamous shot from Nosferatu of the, you know, Count Orlok coming up the stairs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And the fact that, like, you know, Max Schreck is the character within this movie is named after the Max Schreck, the actor who played Count Orlok, and Catwoman is the, you know, the monster created by Max Schreck in this movie. I couldn't help but feel like maybe this is a little Nosferatu nod. Of like, yeah, this is the lingering ghost of Max Schreck's creation is still haunting the streets of Gotham like a vampire kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, Tim Burton definitely does take a lot from German Expressionism. It's weird because, like, Tim Burton, he oftentimes, like, talks about how he didn't get any film education, but I'm like, most people don't know about German Expressionism, but, you know, like, a big part of that is the fact that, you know, the environments reflect characters' like psychological state, and in Tim Burton movies, that's definitely the case. There's intense shadows, and it's beautiful.
I'd say that's probably his main method.
Yeah.
If you know, at least one of them.
There'd be one thing, like, nowadays, people are like, oh, well, people know about German Expressionism now from Tim Burton. Pretty much, like, he kind of got the word out.
I'll be honest, I will have seen that kind of style first through Tim Burton.
Yeah.
Which probably is what then led me to, you know, research these kind of things in the first place.
Yeah, it's funny how, like, cinema kind of cycles around like that, you know, you move in and out of phases, and Tim Burton kind of brings back this, like, really old sort of style of filmmaking, and
If only
and it
he'd
becomes
stuck
known
to
as and then it becomes known as, like, the Tim Burton kind of look, but, you know, he didn't really originate it, but, you know, he keeps it going.
Yeah. He's put his own spin on it. He's added a little bit more
Color.
a little bit more color, and some humor in there as well.
But of course, the Bruce, like, you know, stop the car, jumps out into the alleyway, and then of course there's nothing there. Again, would have preferred had this been the last you saw of Catwoman, or had been technically the last you saw of Catwoman was her killing Max Schreck, but yeah, that's pretty much the action for this minute. Do you guys have anything else you want to comment on within the action of the minutes?
I like that the only thing he says to his Uber driver here, Alfred, is stop the car because, like you're saying, that's how it should be.
Definitely.
This is just the ultimate Uber experience.
I don't want them talking to me. I get them all. They always think I'm up for a chat. It's like, no, I have anxiety and depression. Please don't speak to me.
It should be a specification in the app that, like, do you want a chatty driver or do you want to be left alone? And then you can just tick a thing.
Some states in America now have that as an option.
There you go. Wave of the future. Yep. This is the way forward, people.
Yep. But there is an option on Uber to play your own music through Spotify, but I don't want to subject some driver to my weird whims. My musical tastes are peculiar.
But But yeah, like at this point, we always ask the guest about their history with the movie and stuff. So, but then because Allison, you obviously have a lot more experience with Danny DeVito as well. You have the floor now if you want to go into like what's I feel weird asking like what's with all the Danny DeVito love, as if like, well, who doesn't love Danny DeVito, quite frankly. But
I did for the memes, man. You know, like a lot of people, they ask like why Danny DeVito of all people. I'm like, for the memes.
Yep.
You know, I couldn't find myself a date, and it was like the middle of the night, and I couldn't sleep, and I was just like, you know what? Why don't I just take like a cardboard cut of Danny DeVito, and then I just start thinking through like the logistics. Like, okay, how am I gonna move him around? Oh, one of those little square scooters, perfect. But also, like, I do spend a lot of time watching, like, shows talking about, like, weird news stories. So, like, I did know that would be, like, the perfect kind of, like, weird news story.
You're playing the system.
So,
Oh, yeah.
So I did contact my local news beforehand saying, like, hey, I'm gonna do this. If you want to film it, cool. If not, cool.
Oh, that's clever. I like that move.
Yeah, they paid off. So you met Danny. Is there anything... he didn't like come out with like, I'm going to tell you some really intricate bit of trivia about Batman Returns that nobody else knows that we should know about for the show or anything?
Well, we didn't actually talk that much because, well, I didn't know he was going to be there. Like, I suspected, they might have him on, but like, they said that I asked and they were like, oh, no, he's not going to be there.
Sneaky.
Yeah, but what they told me was they were doing an episode on the biggest viral stories of the summer. So I was like, oh, okay. But like they didn't say that obviously wasn't the case. It was just they needed me on that week because Danny was going to be there promoting his new movie. I think it was Smallfoot. Yeah. That was
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was like pretty shocked. My mouth like went immediately dry when he came out. And like it was so funny because like I was like, there was like a table with water over on the side, and I was like, I don't want to run over there and like look like I'm rejecting him, but like my mouth is dry and I can't talk with the dry mouth.
Nobody rejects Danny.
Yeah. So and my brain also kind of like short circuited for a second. So I kind of forgot how to make words happen, and I think he could tell. So like he didn't really ask many questions. We didn't talk a whole lot, and I definitely regret that, but at the moment I just kind of forgot how to speak.
No, I get that. If I ever meet anybody that I kind of look up to, I'm the same. I always tell myself I'm not going to be an idiot. I'm not going to be a jerk. I won't say something stupid. I will. I'll do something stupid that I'll regret for like 6 years.
Yeah, I remember I went to see Hamilton with my friend, and we went outside, where the actors usually leave so we could get an autograph from someone. And the guy who was playing Hamilton, he comes out, and we were towards the end of the line, and when he gets to us, I just blurt out, I like how you died.
Hey, they'll still be thinking about that to this day.
Oh yeah. He actually took it well. He was like, "Oh, that's gonna be like the highlight of my week," and I was like, "Oh yes." But yeah. So we actually didn't talk that much, but I am still in contact with his agent.
Oh.
I got her business card, and we still do talk sometimes.
Oh,
so
nice.
That's nice.
Oh, that's amazing.
So the thing is, like, you're like, oh, who could be playing the Penguin in future? Maybe Allison Closs. You never know.
Oh.
I am short. Blend in with the penguins.
Oh.
You've got to do it. We're laying the groundwork now for you to make this push.
But But what's your feelings on like on Batman, on this movie in particular? Do you have any history with this movie, or are you just like, oh, it's just a thing?
Yeah, I watched it on TV when I was a kid. And, like, typical, like, kid watching a movie kind of thing is that, like, especially if you've seen it only once, you don't remember a whole lot of the plot, but you remember those weird details, like Danny biting off the nose, and, like, Catwoman's transformation being all weird and stuff, and the penguins, and, so, as a kid, I did not like scary, frightening movies. I was a very, like, like, kind of quiet, shy kind of kid, so, that sort of stuff scared me. But with this movie, it was weirdly perplexing, I was like, this is so weird and kind of frightening, but, like, I gotta keep watching.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah. So I feel like that's the charm of this movie, you know? Like, it's so dark and bizarre that it's sort of like hypnotic, you know? You gotta keep watching. Yeah.
No, that was the same. It was the same for me as a kid, I think, because kids probably shouldn't be watching this film. But I loved every second.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It explains a lot about my life now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I'd only seen it once, but, like, you know, especially, like, if you remember those sorts of details years and years later, you know it's doing something right. If you can very vividly imagine the movie, you know, even if you can't remember the specific plot details, you know it's doing something right.
Yep. Exactly. You want to remember those moments more than the actual ins and outs of the story. That never really sticks with you, does it? Unless it's some kind of epic. Which, no offense to this movie, it's one of my favorite movies. It's not like an epic tale as such, is it? It's more about the minute to minute moments, which is why it works perfectly for this show.
Yeah, and I think like Tim Burton, he gets it perfectly right with the fact that like film is ultimately a visual medium. So like, you know, he really pulls on that, you know, the fact that you're going to remember those images, you know, more than you're going to remember, you know, what so-and-so's motivation was, or, you know, like why so-and-so did this, but you're going to remember those very specific images and ideas, you know?
Yeah. It's like an art piece, almost, the way Burton
Yeah.
works.
A
Like
Burt
he's
work.
painting. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And I love the use of the shadows, so intense and just beautiful.
Well, they're always my favorite in the comic books as well, is when they really heavily shadow Batman. And things like that. It always looks amazing.
Yeah.
And Burton translates that well, considering he's not much of a comic book reader.
That's the thing that they've never done. You still see it's a thing in animated form and comic book form of like, they've never done it in the movies properly. Like just the silhouette of Batman with the white eyes. Like it's such an iconic thing from like these other mediums, but like in cinema, it's like, yeah, we haven't got that down yet. We haven't got it. Maybe I'm doing another one, so maybe this will be you'll finally get white eye Batman. And then you'll finally get that shot, but
We shall see.
I was so convinced in goddamn Suicide Squad that the whole reason that they were doing metal teeth with the Joker is so he would be smiling and you'd see someone's reflection in his teeth while he was killing them. And they didn't even do that. It's like, how many ways can you mess up this movie, damn it?
Yeah. Oh,
Just
that movie. I think that's the first time I ever genuinely thought about leaving the theater.
I fully understand. I was the same. I had not high hopes for it, but I thought this could be good.
Yeah.
No, everything about it, everything.
It's my go-to thing though now. But anyone says like, "Well, this movie seems like it could be good. The trailer's good." I was like, "Remember the people really loved the trailer for Suicide Squad?" And you remember the movie that came afterwards? So don't let the trailers lie to you. Don't let them lie to you.
I think it was the worst movie I'd seen in the cinema until the new Predator movie. That new Predator movie, I think I might have said this before on the show, I don't care. To me, it's officially the worst film I've ever seen. Ever.
Well, for me, like, at school, I take a lot of cinema classes, and one of the classes I took was one on Arab cinema.
Oh.
And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of really good movies that come out of there, but due to like not as much film education and a lot more censorship and less technology,
Yeah.
you know, not as strong of a film culture in many of those countries. I've seen some really bad stuff. I've seen some good stuff, but like when people are talking about like, oh yeah, this is the worst film I've ever seen, I'm like, well, at least it was competently made, you know?
But
like some of them, you could tell it's just like a guy, his friend, and a camera, and like they've seen like 2 movies, you know?
Oh. At least they tried.
Yeah.
You know, they gave it their all. They gave it their heart and their passion. Nobody had any heart or passion in that goddamn Predator film.
Thankfully, though, in this podcast, we only get to talk about good films. So, Allison, would you like to come back when we're covering Batman and Robin? Or
of course. Of course. Yeah, this was really fun.
No? I mean, we've been doing Batman forever first. So if you want to come back for... I know there's no Danny in it, but if you I don't know if you want to take like a cardboard cutout of like Tommy Lee Jones or something and then go viral again.
Well,
Yes.
I do have my cardboard Arnold, that I got on the
Ooh.
talk.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh my God.
He was in Batman and Robin.
Were you trying to make your own version of twins like at home or something?
Yeah, I thought it was really funny when on the talk they gave me like 4 more cardboard Dannys, but from different movies, and one of them was Danny from the Twins, but he also had like with Arnold. So my friends, they were asking like, oh, how'd it go? I was like, oh, I got 4 Dannys and an Arnold. I'm set for life.
That's perfect. That's my heaven right there.
Yeah, and at college I have like last year, my residence hall, my room was positioned in a very busy spot on campus. So I always had one of my Dannys looking out the window. And it had a little spotlight that I would put on at night. And the penguin, I put him up during October for Halloween. But, yeah, that was fun. And I could never bring Arnold because he was too big,
It's life size, is it?
Yeah, it's all life size.
Oh my God. So yeah, Jesus Christ, he would be huge.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I guess we should wrap this episode up then.
Yes, we shall. So we will head off into the dark, dark night once more. And Alison, would you like to promote any of your work or tell people where they can find you online and whatnot?
Yeah, sure. You can follow me on Twitter at Allison Closs, one word, of course. And you can subscribe on YouTube. My YouTube channel is called The Book Lover, 2 words, the and Book Lover is 1 word. Warning, though, I started it when I was 14, and it definitely reflects that in the earlier stuff. But if you look at the more recent stuff, I think you'll definitely find some fun, interesting, quirky videos, like how many cupcakes does it take to make a lasagna, I think. Is one of them.
I am intrigued.
Yeah, I do talk about weird stuff, but I'm a weird person and I think it's kind of funny. But anyways, yeah, that's my stuff. On Instagram, you can follow me at I think it's Allicloss, ALLICLOSS. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And if you want to hire a videographer in Pennsylvania, you can hit me up. So yeah.
Well, make sure you do. If you enjoyed the ramblings of these 2 weirdos, Niall and me, then I'm sure you'll love everything Alison does, because self-proclaimed weirdo right there. We're all weird together. And if you guys listening want to be weird, we're on Facebook at the Bat Minute Listeners Cave, so you can send us all your bizarre messages there. Doesn't have to be Batman related. It helps. It helps. You'll get more replies if it is. But yeah, just come and chat about anything there. And we're on Twitter at Batminute, Instagram, Tumblr, all that crap. I don't know. Send us an email, batminute89@gmail.com, because it's the name of the old season, the old show. And give us a review on iTunes. It's always very lovely, very helpful. And Niall, is this a Wednesday episode or is this Friday?
Yes, this is Wednesday. This is
Wednesday. Shit. Yes, of course it's Wednesday. I knew that because we record these on the day that they go out. So join us again on Friday for more Batman Returns. We will have minute 120. See you then.
Next time, spectral analysis. Bruce vies to verify his vision, but his perplexed perquisition is halted by the meowing of a mysterious Malkin. As he examines this eerie ocelot from the dark of the city, could there be a new home for the elusive Miss Kitty? Find out Friday. Same Bat Pod, different Bat Minute.